Alrighty, what is up guys? Welcome back. Evan Aldo here. If you enjoy the content, please leave a thumbs up. Sorry I haven't been active on YouTube in like a week now. Been a little bit busy. I was more active on Twitch lately. Wanted to get into a few things here. So give an update, Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETH, Bitcoin, AVAX, and the other thing that I'm doing is I'm more active on Twitter. Going to be more active on Twitter this month. I took a break from the exclusive Discord. I'm doing a retreat for a few days, so didn't want to. It would kind of be unfair to the people if I'm not too active there. So going to be more active on Twitter, trying to bring that following up. So link in the description below if you want to follow my Twitter. Also, if you want to trade, check out the link to BITGET and BitGet down below, and MEXC, that's another one that I've been using lately, pretty good exchanges. So let's get right into it. So I wanted to compare to after the .com bubble, just to show you guys what happened with the NASDAQ after the .com bubble. So a lot of people are talking about, obviously, how we close the monthly green candle. Now, it could mean we bottomed out, obviously. There's that possibility. We could have bottomed out. But the other possibility here is if you look at where I circled this green dot, just like here, at that similar level, very similar to about -48 right there, -50, -48 on the NASDAQ after .com bubble. This closed, if it's just like this, which is possible, I guess it could be, you know, you'd come up a little bit higher, maybe 25K, high 24s. You do have the 200 weekly moving average at 24.7. If you could break above that, close a weekly above that, I think we most likely bottomed out. If you reject fiercely from that, I think we're most likely going to do something of this nature. And this would be the case to bottoming out. That's October. That's a year to go. I think it's going to be kind of sooner, you know, towards the end of this year, maybe September, October. But it could be, you know, it'd be. I don't think it's going to be in 2024 or early 2024. I think it's going to be more likely the end of 2023. I guess it's possible you could repeat this kind of and go into the early 2024 for a bottom, but you know, there's that possibility. Right now, I kind of think you're probably going to come on lower. Also, keep in mind, say Powell, you know, he sounded more dovish this time, but say he sounds hawkish the next two times, you know, in March more hawkish 25 points, April more hawkish 25 points, then that's it. Then they pivot. Typically, the big kind of crash happens after they pivot. So that means you have a kind of a big crash over the summer, and then that's generally kind of towards the bottom over the summer there. And that's where we bottom out, and that's where we get to the big place everyone's been talking about forever, 11K, 12K. That possibility, that would look, you know, something like this into the end of the year, something of that nature. I think there's a decent probability. If we look at Bitcoin right here, I want to look at, you know, some of these time frames. You do have a trend reversal indication, you know, kind of on the weekly here, which obviously could go either way. I think it's going to be more of the bearish sign. There are a lot of similarities here, you know, to the pre-pandemic drop right there. And if you look at the 3-day right here, look at this pattern. It's a blue triangle, trend reversal, green dot, red dot. Same pattern right there. And your RSIs are split and coming down. That's another thing. Confirms in a day. If you look at the COVID, you know, pandemic drop right there. Also, I circled right here. These are decent drops. You could have a 30% drop down, which is typical. You know, when you get big jumps up, 30% drop down, you're right back to 16K pretty quickly. If it's like after, kind of like over here, you'd have kind of a sideways month. You'd come up a little bit, sideways month into February, March, bore a lot of people away. We're due for a more sideways thing. I mean, look right here. Look kind of like this. We're due more for like this. More sideways into March, maybe even around these areas, then you finally come down. What I think would happen, because Bitcoin dominance is so bullish, I think a lot of alts will really bleed against Bitcoin during this time in the next 2 months. This is a good place, not financial advice, but I think a good place to be taking profits on altcoins at least. So let's look at Ethereum. The same thing here. You know, look at this. We were bottomed out at this point, but look at the blood diamond. You came down against Bitcoin. I think it could be even like kind of, it could be like this without the fact that we've already bottomed. It could be like kind of that point. I don't think you'd come much below here. I don't think you'd come I don't think you'd come 50% down against Bitcoin, but it could be more of a slow and gradual place down. You may not see that until mid kind of 2024. Say we bottom out, you know, toward middle to late this year, but then we don't bottom out. ETH doesn't bottom out against Bitcoin until kind of early 2024 to mid 2024. That's a possibility there. That bores a lot of people away, you know, and then you get what you need to get into alts in 2024. Maybe it could be sooner. I don't know, but there's a big thing to look at there. You have the blood diamond too, kind of on the 16-hour. on the 20-hour as well. On Ethereum, could kind of go either way. What I kind of think is you may see like a little jump up, maybe one little jump up to 1700, 1800, and then kind of come down a bit there. So that's what we're looking at right there. Split RSI is kind of on the 3-day as well. Blue triangle, green dot, red dot. You haven't seen that kind of in a while here. I mean, this would be interesting. If it's like this, you'd come up even higher there, that kind of pattern. You come up, maybe a little bit more, then you'd crash and come up more. I mean, it's probably not going to play out like that, but this would be the case to maybe come up a little bit more, maybe 1800, these areas, who knows, maybe a 1900, then kind of come down a bit more there. I don't think you're going to get that high. I think you would probably just get up to 17 something here. That's what I'm looking at. And then the other thing too that I've been talking about for a good amount of time, with this daily, coming up, this could be the last green dot we see. This brings us the next week or so, or next few weeks, up to 17, 1800, and then you finally see a big kind of bearish dip in the daily here. Then you kind of come down. That's what I'm looking at in ETH right there. Money flow coming down, kind of on the 5-hour of the year. What I think probably would be another pretty decent indication of topping out when the 10-hour and the 12-hour, pretty much on all altcoins too, on everything. When these, especially the 12-hour, when this crosses into the red, I think you probably topped out. It's a good indication that you topped out. That's the big place right there. 3-day, 3-hour come back into the green. I think you may be choppy for a little bit with some wicks up. Maybe a choppy month with some wicks up. That's a decent probability there. Let's look at a couple of the alts. AVAX did pretty well. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these, but just looking at this pattern, trend reversal, green dot, red dot, probably the next red dot to confirm. That could even take a few weeks, especially if you come up a little bit higher. We'll give you what you need. And I think as we get this next rally up, I think a lot of these alts will really start to bleed against Bitcoin as Bitcoin dominance kind of goes up. So if you're going to be going on long on anything, I would stick to Bitcoin for now. Long-term accumulation, Bitcoin, because I think Bitcoin's going to outperform a lot of these for many months to come, probably. BNB as well. Just looking at BNB Bitcoin, this has outperformed Bitcoin for so long. It's not going to go up forever against Bitcoin, just straight up. Red dot right there. Weekly, you got your bearish div, money flow coming out. Doesn't get much more bearish than that against Bitcoin right there. I think BNB, it's going to take some time, but I think you will come down. Look at this pattern right here on the 3-day right there. Blue triangle, green dot, red dot down. Blue triangle. See what I mean? I think you're probably gonna. It could be sideways for maybe even the whole month, but you probably will eventually come down farther. Solana, this is the main one we've been talking about for a while. This confirms in a day the red dot right here. Very similar to this point. We'll see what happens with this. I don't know. My main guess, kind of choppy to sideways for next few days, but I think, or next few weeks even. But I think kind of for this one, especially one that's pumped up a lot, I do think that you're probably going to really come down and bleed against Bitcoin, bleed against ETH quite a bit here. And then on Atom, it's that kind of pattern. Blue triangle down. Blue triangle, this came up a little bit, but blue triangle, green dot, it's that same pattern. We're looking at a lot of these. I mean, you do have the trend reversal here in the weekly. It's kind of like December 2019. You came down 68%. It's a pretty big drop down there. So would not surprise me to make, that's kind of, 60, I know it gets, would not surprise me, towards middle to late this year, seeing that true bottom at, probably some of these levels. I know it's low, but, $5, $2.50 to $5, that kind of area right there. So that's what I'm looking at right now. That's all I got for now, guys. Please follow my Twitter. Check out the link below to BITGET or BitGet or MEXC down below if you want to trade. Really appreciate that. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.